Guys, guess what I have? Hear that rustling noise? I've got Jellybabies! I'm really good! Dear God, thank you very much for the Jellybabies. You know, Neil, I have to thank you for all the terror and poopery you've had to make me go through with this game. Because now you've given me a craving for Jellybabies. Ever since that little girl character, who's the goddaughter of Luke Wright, she loves Jellybabies. Now I'm eating them. Oh, Neil. Now I might as well ask you a favor. Why don't you bring your own Jellybabies to your own gaming live streams? You do us both a good favor. Yeah. That's one. So many achievements. Just reflecting on what we've been through. For whatever reason, I find this image so funny. The main terrorizing ghost witch is just hitching a ride with him just so casually. Sorry, sorry, I find that really funny. Anyway, let's continue on. And this time, we're playing as Ashton! Yay, we get to play as a detective! Woo! About time in the mystery game. Anyway. Parties have never really been my thing. They're always such a hassle, and take so much time off my day. Prior plans and commitments cancelled for all the sake of playing along with others. I'm getting some film noir vibes. In fact, you know, with a mix of East and West, I'm getting some Cowboy Bebop vibes. I'm gonna narrate, Ashton as Spike Spiegel. Thank God for Cowboy Bebop. Since you Watanabe is awesome.
Welcome everyone.
I hated them even as a child. Look, Steve Bloom, I doubt you're probably watching this. Chances are this is kind of a cheap knockoff. But you know what? We could all use a bit more bang. Anyway.
Please make yourselves at home.
Right. I take it this is a housewarming party. But Mom often insisted she'd slick my hair back, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets, and if there were any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how utterly loud or tedious it was all for the sake of keeping up appearances. To some extent, lies have been surrounding me, long before I've chosen what I wanted to do with my life. Luckily, they were easy to tune everything out, and much of my mom's frustration I always managed to sneak my CD player along.
Hey, why'd you play a few tunes there?
Jet, what are you doing here?
I see you playing the ladder.
Yeah, it's this game about, there's a ghost that's haunting the mansion, and she looks kind of weird, like some kind of emo person desperately wanting to rip off the Ring.
Ring? Well, I've seen that horror flick plenty of times. It sure scared me when I was a little child. Still scared me back when I was a cop.
Look, Jet, I really enjoy your sentiments, but I'm trying to concentrate here. Anyway, I kept to myself and to my music, had my own little world, until I learned to observe. You see, with my two different eyes, one eye keeps seeing the past, the other eye keeps seeing the present. It's a simple matter of awareness, really. And for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of a wrist alone could tell volumes about a person. It's all in the details, but I still don't like parties. Especially ones as big and fancy as the Wright's housewarming. However, when there's actual reason to go to them, I figure they're not that bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
I will, Ashton. Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. I don't know what's more subtle, Luke Wright or vicious. You'd think the man would want to remain inconspicuous after his name was linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxburg. Granted, most of it has gone cold over the years, having stagnated without lead or evidence. That still doesn't make him any less suspectful. Yet here he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. Although, having observed the man this past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it. The spotlight. Constantly yearns for attention like a neglected puppy. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found in this own party. But that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends, how close he has creeped into the lives of the people I care about. Again, like a stubborn itch you couldn't be rid of. First, Professor Clark. Then there's Isabella. I also spotted Z-Man here a while ago, and now there's also Julia. Not Julia. Sorry, I was getting some flashbacks. Hey, is it just me, or does she kind of look like Faye Valentine? Hey, what's your whining? Hey, I was just giving you a compliment.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Yeah, you don't want to scratch my swordfish.
By swordfish, I mean Spike's spaceship, which is a swordfish. This little cool fighter that he has. I'm just doing Spike Spiegel voice impressions.
There will also be hell to pay if he so much as harms a hair on either Zach's or Rebecca's heads. Worrying about Isabella's brief dealings about him is stressing in itself already. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people, though. It would tarnish his glorious reputation, and he values appearances more than anything. That doesn't necessarily mean he isn't capable of it, more than in fact, and on the off chance he does something, it wouldn't be responsible for my actions.
Those guys know what they're doing. The handling card's worth more than your precious Shirley.
For Zachary and Rebecca's sake, however, I really hope this simply will be another housewarming party. Even though something tells me it's anything but that. Call it a detective's intuition or whatever. I've been on plenty of bounty hunts before. When Luke Wright's involved, nothing good has come out of it. I can't let my guard down here. I hear there's a ghost in these premises. Maybe I should visit Laughing Bull for this kind of advice. Even more so when a familiar car slows to a stop and out comes...
Chief?
It's the Chief! My presence here might be odd at best, but I have an excuse. One that this man handed it to me himself a long time ago, along with a heavy dose of flattery for the newly prompted detective inspector.
Hey, fellow cop!
Yeah, I know you're out of retirement yet, but you know this guy?
Actually I don't. I just appreciate the fact that there's a cop around here. It saves me from doing a decent job.
Yeah, I always liked you, Jet. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I?
Who's your boss, Spike?
I'm just reading this thing, Jet, don't you realize?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Although, to see him here, chatting up with Luxburn's rich and famous, isn't such a big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy is obviously a social climber. What is surprising, the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest's wife. Yeah, just what the heck is going on here?
Ashton, what's...
Sorry, Becca, I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
So I take it we're just starting off with the housewarming party. I suppose Ashton was minding his own business throughout the other chapters, and okay, and depending on our actions with Rebecca and other stuff, the story would go either way. Okay. Right. That's a shame. I wanted to do some mystery solving. I guess it's immediately to the house. Okay, so a lot of it's to do with what's happened prior. I guess that's partially why they did Luke last. Also because he's a jerk who needs redemption. Okay, so a lot of it's just, okay, choice there. Okay. Okay. There might be a few choices here. Maybe it's all just, butterfly effect from here on in. I suspect. Anyway.
Just what on earth is going on here?
Oh wait, Ash! What about...
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Hey, be careful! About what exactly?
I don't want to draw attention to myself either. At least not until he's given me proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
Talk about dirty.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle. The doctors again?
I'm eating Jellybabies.
Now, for now, the best I could do is wait and remain inconspicuous. Especially with Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best.
I mean, if it means having to pretend I don't know Zach and Rebecca, or forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like, so be it. I can't involve anyone. Wandering is out of the question as well, when there are guards and civvies stationed here and there. Sure, getting past them is something I could do with ease, but I'd rather not right now. When I'm one of the few snooping and roaming about, I'd be best to try and do so once there's a crowd of people. And if their interior designers' drunken claims are to be believed...
Yes, well, what's about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
Now I can tell if someone's bluffing.
It'll all come down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party is going to give me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke right, or something to prove my suspicions wrong. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing.
So I take it that Ashton's been doing a little investigating. Turns out he's done most of the mystery work for you.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. I was looking forward to doing a little bit of investigating, but whatever. I guess the plot's a plot, I guess. I've had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears to be.
Bumbling, ha ha ha!
Ed, what are you doing here?
Yeah, you're playing the ladder! Ed wants to play a game about ladder to see spooky ghosts.
Look, Ed, I really appreciate the sentiments, but don't you have anything better to do?
Nope! Ed wants to see you play ghost ladder game.
Okay, fine, Ed. I mean, I'll let you take control for all I care.
Yay! But one does not simply deal with the rights and get invited to a party they host without wanting anything from either of the two. Or it's the other way around. So with the last weary glance of the two, Ed heads into the ballroom. Ed just hopes this will not complicate things further. By the time the party's in full swing, night has fallen, yet there still isn't a Luke right in sight. The man can be quite ostentatious.
Ostentatious. I'm eating Jellybabies. With this, frankly, I'm impressed. I don't even know how many eaux de bois I've already stuffed in my face with.
I'm not gonna lie, that looks delicious.
Oh yeah, certainly puts a lady on. Faye, you're watching this too? Yeah, I've got nothing better to do at the moment. Well, alright. One too many, probably.
Seconds!
Dad, for goodness sake, you just play this game just because you wanted some food?
Yeah, Ed's hungry.
Sorry, we gotta do our bounty. Then we can get our food. In fact, Callum, would you mind sharing some of those Jellybabies? Okay, try not to get high on sugar, Ed. You're already, hyperactive enough as it is. So, here you go, Ed.
Yay! Servers are already giving me a stink eye every time Ed saunters over the buffet table. Blame your employees, not Ed. Ed, he's the one who has the guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' weird luck is concentrated in this area.
despite standing under the same roof with the very people we're whispering about. Just some couldn't resist.
And might as well keep an ear out for any useful information.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem?
Good Jellybabies.
Tech problem? It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
If the red tape ad's being slammed with, but Detective must suggest anything, that or someone is pulling the string, like a puppet. Ed wouldn't be shocked. This case would have gone for long enough.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out. I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened. Feh, glad I didn't know how to deal with that.
It's a Scottish guy!
But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
This kind of I cannot read that word. It has always been an advantage. But sometimes I wish I could be smashed drunk while doing this. Having sharp ears also means you get to hear the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week? One person's motive for bashing someone's skull against a wall, or a father's excuse for burning his own daughter alive, that sort of stuff. After a few years, it's getting tiring. You get desensitized to it. But humans could also be downright awful. Yeah, I've seen this. Sometimes there simply isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine is a no-go tonight, and mostly for show. I'm up for another drive later, for one, and I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. And something always comes up in assignments like this. A detective inspector, or a bounty hunter, dying in cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt, the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom.
Hannah Wright.
Hannah Wright.
Hey, yeah, why don't you do something with the engines?
Yay!
No offense to her, but that'll get her out of the way for a little while.
Yeah, thanks, Jet. Anyway, some will say I'm acting a bit tough, bit paranoid, and maybe I am. This is a party, and she's the hostess. It goes to say that she'd take time to mingle with her guests. But Hannah Wright, the Avens, isn't without her fair share of accolades. At least to the public, she doesn't seem like it. Unlike her husband, she's the one with the business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company. Or effectively hide whatever irregularity there might be. She's clean as far as spy agents, and I have found it doesn't rule out a possible involvement with whatever her husband's up to. Heck, Luke Wright came out clean in previous reports, until I bothered to take a deeper look into it. What I've found may not be sufficient to bring anyone up to trial yet, but it's enough to nurture suspicion. This may be a bit of an overreaction, but no one lasts long in my line of work by being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Oh my!
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Jellybabies. I'm getting through my Jellybabies. I really should stop, otherwise I'll go through a sugar rush. Delicious.
She's probably even more careful with appearances than her own husband, having grown up with the spotlight focused on her. Yet even knowing that, the anxiety stays. Has been years since the party started. I brushed it off earlier. Who wouldn't feel edgy, right? I've gone undercover in a party hosted by this very person I'm investigating. That in itself is risky, and has plenty of rooms for error. Usually, though, the tension passes around the first half hour or so. I've been trained to remain composed in situations like this. However, with each second I spend here, it only grows heavier and seeks to overwhelm. An odd feeling that, someone is watching me instead. It has been like that since the last week, but I should already be used to this.
I'm hearing the whispers!
Hey, Jet. Did you put something in my dinner?
With those bell peppers and beef?
What about the bell peppers and beef? I mean, firstly, how many times do I have to tell you they're not bell peppers and beef?
It is when you're going cheap, alright?
Secondly, has Ed been putting those mushrooms into our meal again?
No, why?
Are you hearing these whispers too?
Oh yeah, I can hear them.
When the feeling of eyes burning into my back lingers longer than necessary. I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit. No luck. And despite my efforts to push the sensation as far down as I could, tiny pinpricks continue to sting the back of my head, and the ghost of a cold touch creeps up my limbs. Until my gaze switches back to Rebecca and Hannah Wright. She stands there, dark-haired and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb.
Oh, so Ashton's seen her now. When she appeared at the party to spook Hannah and just to go play prank on poor Rebecca here. Ooh, I'm making funny faces behind Rebecca, and then just act casual when she turns around. How we need to find casual with her. Anyway, crossing myself.
Even so, no one seems to notice. Although she's looking away from me, her mere existence here strikes, disturbs. A sense of tunnel vision binds while I stand stock still and gape at her, like my life depends on making sure she stays where she is. I feel trapped in her presence until another guest bumps into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then do I realize that I've been holding my breath, anticipating waking up from the nightmare I can't escape from. Oh man, if only to get to the afterlife right now. Before I could figure out what happened, she's gone. Maybe it was just a dream. Or maybe it was something real. A quick scan of the room yields no sign of her. The party continues as if nothing's amiss. I'm not really one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that would not have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. What has the security been doing? Are they really that incompetent? For someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? There shouldn't even be an outcry by now, particularly with the host. She's been standing almost an arm's length away from the woman, and yet she simply continues her talk with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
She seems cheery for someone who just saw a literal ghost. Yeah, put on that facade. At least with me, I'm a bit more subtle. The ghosts haunt me all the time.
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now.
Yay!
And Mom says hi, by the way.
Hi!
Is there something in the food then?
Besides bell peppers and beef. Hey!
That I'm starting to see things? It couldn't have been the wine, though. I'm every bit as sober as when I first stepped off my car. The Ars Devoir. Why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy, but I couldn't see why he'd ever think it'd be a good idea to lace the food he'd serve in his party. With someone like the Chief in mind, he has been linked to narcotics trades, yep. However, the kind of tactic is below him. That much I could tell.
Spike, you do realize you just skipped a bit of dialogue.
Sorry. I just do things spontaneously.
Spike, you're always doing things spontaneously.
Well, whatever. Whatever happens, happens.
You better not have that attitude when you're making the choices in this game, Spike. It's life or death.
Well, at least there's eternity to look forward to.
There's just no getting through to you, Spike.
Well, unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight, which I highly doubt. So...
What the fuck was that?
But there's no time to look deeper into this, even if I want to. But when a telling silence comes upon the room and draws everyone's attention to the main doors of the ballroom.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party?
Well, it's decent so far. I could do with a bit more liveliness. I mean, it's getting near Halloween. I should really be having a Halloween party with Vincent. Now that was a party I'm never gonna forget.
I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Well, I'm glad it's not the wrong one. Yeah, I know, I can joke too. I've been tailing this guy for a while now. Before that, I heard stories from previous officers who tackled this case, none of which are pleasant. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark yet. Pleasant is glossing over the gravity of it. While Wright's good at covering whatever shady stuff he's doing, he's shown to be a really rotten guy. At least that's the case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I've lost track of how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment cases the guy could be pinned with. Heck, he even tried to make a move on Isabella back in the open house, right in front of his wife. Standing in the same room as him doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger, but protocols. My case first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't get ahead of my purpose here. If I want to put him in his place, it shouldn't be in a court, with all proper charges filed against him. And I'll be able to do that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode.
Yeah, however you define humble.
Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are all ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allow the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone!
Suppressing my annoyance, I prepare to step away from the crowd. Amidst the cheer and claps, now is as good a time as any to move. Try to find that something the McCulloch woman would talked about. In the first place, I have no plans to actually shake hands with the slimeball himself. A fake smile is plastered on my face, while I pretend to listen to one of the other guests gossiping about him, all while slowly inching out of the ballroom. Unfortunately, before I could get any further...
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
Oh dear, some drama.
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Rich people only have two ways to resolve their mess. Either they quietly deal with it behind closed doors, or they create an even greater problem out of it. And it just blows up in everyone's faces one way or another. Fun.
No! Shut it, you mucker! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here! You bloody bastard standing there with your smarmy smile!
Not even a few seconds in, and this is already proving itself to be a big public spectacle. Why spend money on television or buy daytime soap operas? You could just go to one of these parties and see the action unfold in real life. You get free food, too. Really, if I were an actual guest, I'd just take this as some sordid form of amusement.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle! Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
But I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him, even though his whole sorry tale. So I wait. I listen. I observe. Oh good, you're taking tips from me back when I was a cop. Yeah, thanks for the advice, Jet. Interesting, isn't it, though? What is? That's the chief inspector's wife. October 29th, Saturday morning. The morning after starts off quiet. Even the whole of Salemwell residences seem unusually still. The open hallway, when I step out, is devoid of tenants. No sounds coming from the other units either. My, we're making quite some progress. I'll say, maybe this is a good time to stop the episode. Care for a few Jellybabies, Spike? I mean, I prefer my cigarette, but yeah, thanks. I suppose anything to take a break from the cup of noodle from a while. Yeah, thank God for these Jellybabies. Good flavor. What color do you prefer, Jet?
I don't really mind what color I pick for the Jellybabies, as long as they satisfy my taste buds.
Huh. Yeah, I get that a lot. Imagine a jelly baby that had all the flavors at once. It would be beyond words. Maybe words wouldn't be necessary to describe a jelly baby with all flavors.
Are we really talking about this, Spike?
Well, can you think of anything else to talk about at the moment?
I guess not.
Very well. Let's keep talking about jelly babies.
Do you think the viewers really need to listen to this?
Oh yeah, we're talking about jelly babies now. I mean, when I was little, I would always, be a bit, actually, it's not really implied whether or not I eat jelly babies a lot when I was little. But you know what? I've had jelly babies just now, so, yeah, I like jelly babies.
There aren't many things that you do like, Spike. It's good to know you have a sweet tooth, oddly enough.
Yeah, usually take me as a sour type, but you know what? Every now and then I just need a bit of a different mood. Something to remind me of the better days. One of those things is jelly babies.
Gosh, that's deep, Spike. Real deep as always. You know, I've always doubted you, but you're a man of great insight, Spike.
I know, Jet. I know. Oh, by the way, if you want the Bebop crew narrating this whole letter series, feel free to let us know in the comments down below. Oh, and one more thing. See you, Space Cowboy. Bam!